But I remember again, back to the first season, the Matt and Ashley, who were a couple. Um, Laura Harris, who played Ashley, we had a kissing scene, I guess, in the first or second episode or something like that. And I remember um, we were put into a soundstage to rehearse this moment. And I think I was 16, and I think Laura was a year younger than me.
She was 14 at the
Was she
beginning,
14?
and then 15.
Yeah, so we were both young, and I think you left us to our own devices to rehearse, so to speak, and we both kind of awkwardly um, talked about it a little bit, and we're both relatively shy about the process, and decided that it would be best if we just left it. And so we basically didn't do anything, and then just kind of, you know, saw what happened when we when we got onto the set.
I've never heard that story either.
Yeah, well, we probably didn't want to tell you at the time
No,
that,
that was
we
the
were
whole
directed
reason.
to do something, and
No,
then we
that-
were like,
Yeah, but that's why I left you alone, because I hoped you'd come up with a plan,
yeah.
and you did.
See, now, if I was put into a rehearsal hall with someone who I was supposed to, rehearse kissing with, it'd be a whole different ballgame. But, what else? I remember flying to Ottawa that when we shot, I guess it was the second season in Ottawa. I had to, I guess I didn't have to, but I missed my graduation for that. And I remember flying right after my final exams and not being able to take any time to look at the script before 13 episodes before I arrived, because I had my final exams, which then I had to miss my grad, and I had to study on the plane. I think I flew overnight to get there. Again, all stories boiling back down to memorizing these lines. But I mean, after 20 years of being an actor, really it just boils down to memorizing lines. As long as you can stand there and say them with some kind of conviction that you know what line is coming next, you're pretty much good.
Well, you always arrived with the scripts mastered. I remember that.
I tried.
Yeah, well, you had them.
I try and do that now, even.
Yeah.
I mean, most people arrive.
Directors love that.
Yeah, now I fake it though. I come with it memorized and pretend that I don't. Makes you look good.
Do you by any chance remember the wrap party? We did a little dinner over at the Hard Rock Cafe down in Orlando after, I think it was the third season, around Christmas time, and you all came in, the cast. It was just for the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember what happened when you walked into that place? You all, I don't mean just you, but the cast.
Oh man, you're gonna have to give me a little bit more.
Well, everybody in the place wanted their pictures taken with different.
Oh really?
Or just your experience going on the park.
Well, I mean that was cool. I mean, we're teenagers and out there signing autographs, and well, first of all, the best part was the fact that we got this pass that we could just go to Universal Studios whenever we wanted to. So that was cool. We could walk through the back gate and go on any of the rides, and I think skip the lineups and all that kind of good stuff. The fringe benefits of film and television are far better than theater. I mean, you're lucky to get a bottle of water in theater. So that was cool, and it was neat to know that people were watching the program and would recognize us and sign autographs and all that kind of good stuff. So of course it's good for the ego. I think that's all it's good for, though. I mean, it's good publicity for the show, but if they recognize you, they probably already are watching the show. So really, it's just an ego trip.
It's very healthy.
It's very healthy. Well, I mean, everyone has to have an ego, and it's good.
So
it's good to have it massaged and stroked and boosted.
It's so healthy to have that view of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so healthy. One of the things that I wanted to ask you to do, and Robin and Ian, I did the same thing, was just as sort of a flight of fancy. In other words, you can go wherever you want if something clicks, or it may or may not. But if you looked at the story of Matt today, 21st century, if we were shooting, a new 15 or Matt today, how would you change the story? I mean, you have the advantage of hindsight now, 20 years of maturity and adulthood and marriage, childs, all of this good stuff. How would
I'm
you?
supposed to be wise.
Yes, wants to be the wise old man here.
Yes, okay.
How would you change the story of Matt, if you would? I guess, would you? And if so, how might you? Just wherever that might take your imagination.
Well, from what I remember of the storyline, for all the characters, really, there was, I think it touched on a lot of the fundamental things that I guess youth in that age bracket of 12, 13 to 15, 16 or whatever it was, go through. I think a lot of the themes of it are, I don't know if they read timeless in the portrayal, but I think the fundamentals of it are essentially timeless. For example, I mean, relationship wise, I mean, there was that whole dance of Matt and Ashley being in a relationship, and the trials and tribulations of figuring that out as young adults, figuring out a relationship for the first time and breaking up and getting back together, and what does it mean to the other people who see the relationship, and why are you in that relationship, and what is it that you get from it, all those types of things. I think those are although I wish I had the insight that I have now to be able to do a show like that, but I think that those things are all would translate and do translate to almost any television program now, whether it's comedy or drama. And then obviously the other big one for Matt, the character of Matt, was his alcohol abuse, which it's funny, I don't really remember it being very in your face. Like I think now the issues. I'm just just now that I think about it, I would say two things. One, the issues that these 15-year-olds were dealing with are probably shift younger now. So you get same group of topics, but probably kids are dealing with them younger. 11, 12, 13 are dealing with the same things that we probably talked about at 15. And the fact that we probably didn't, if we were doing it now, I would say that the alcoholism or whatever drug abuse situation that would be, you might substitute it for some other drug of choice, which might be more popular today.